we have a quorum. And the first item on our agenda is the election of officers.
I move that Warren is president, Chris is secretary.
Also. Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right. Little minutes from June 29th and from June 11th.
I move we approve the June 11th and June 29th meetings.
To be perfectly honest, they probably still have the grammatical errors that you caught, so you do that as
With-
and
Okay.
with your corrections, because I just recopied the file.
Oh, okay. Then I move with the corrections.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any member of the public who would like to address the commission? That not being the case, we'll move on to our first item, which is the F-86.
I really don't have much of an update for the meeting. We did share the draft memo with the new office here. If Bob wants to say anything on it, I can certainly invite him up. I did talk to the contractor. He's looking at like the second or third week of September to do the work. He's he's getting the contract put together so I can sign it. And getting the paints, specs and things that if people were going to donate, they can have that information to get that process taken care of. Otherwise, I've been talking with Bob about doing a Veterans Day-ish rededication once it's all shiny and new and fun looking again. We've got some other ideas that we're kicking around for improvements out there.
I think it's great.
I know where we're at.
Did we ever talk about for the restoration efforts? What we're doing?
No, not really.
I didn't know if they communicated what they.
I don't know that the canopy is a topic of, like, it's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Other people have mentioned it. It's something you might want to look into. It have be something that should be able to be done. You know, short order.
Many moons ago, I did spend some time trying to find like a real canopy on the internet and I failed. I don't have the right contacts. And just internet searching was a waste of time. But if anybody does have like decent contacts, I'd be happy to try to chase them down to get them.
I don't know if the Air Force has, takes it out of the bone pile in Arizona or something like that. I don't know.
Back in the day, I mean, it's been probably a decade, like literally the last time we did the restoration when I did that. And I know I had reached out to our museum contact and been like, hey, is like what? Somewhere in the history, I was pretty vague. Like it had been vandalized and had been patched up with just plexiglass and stuff. But like if we could get a real one again, we'd love to have it. And it was silence. So
I'll see if we can add to the next research.
I wonder if we called the boneyard in Tucson, whether. I mean, it's acre after acre of airplanes. I don't know if they still have F-86.
yeah, I have no idea. At that time, I was only been here for a couple of years, and I was like, I don't know, I'm just winging it.
That'd be a nice thing to think about.
But yeah, like I said, if people have some decent contacts, I'm happy to chase them down. The last time I tried it, and I don't know that I have any real new tools to try anything different. So
We do have new people here.
Yeah.
One other thing, because the way the endowment is growing and it's bigger than it was a month ago, and we can't access it until next year. I've talked to our group and I'm going to try and we're going to have leftover money from this trip, but I'd like to maybe have 10K in the giving fund. So it's expendable right away. And then the endowment fund hopefully will be large enough to replace anything that gets spent out of that 10 grants. We sort of have a $5,000 to $10,000 threshold that's available for planes. We don't know. Does it need to be power washed once or twice a year? What other kind of things? What can we contribute to improving the area and that kind of stuff? And we have that working capital within the giving fund when the next year.
Makes sense.
Oh, how soon we'll get to it, but we'll talk to Andy and then when some of these donations come in, we'll try and split them.
Yeah.
To get that. Even that straightforward.
Yeah, that's fine. I have some thoughts on donations that will run by the commission when we talk about the budget too, that.
Thank you.
We'll see if it goes anywhere.
Well, well,
Not to put them on the spot, or not, but,
it makes it easier for them if we're doing something too.
Okay,
well, yeah.
farm management.
This one, actually, it's my fault, but, the last couple of years, I don't think we've had this as an agenda item. In August and September of every year, the commission has the opportunity to break the agreement with Farmers National or farm management company and do something different with the farm. It has typically been on the agenda to give the commission just acknowledge that the option is there. Not recommending it. I think John is doing a great job. John is behind me on the couches. So if anybody wants to say anything, or John, if you want to say anything about the farm, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I've been the farm manager like 20 years now. I think our company has managed it since the 60s. So it's gone away. We've managed it different ways over time. Years ago, when I first started, it was a crop share type of arrangement. Most leases now are moving more to just a kind of straight cash rent. And then every year, we do analysis where the rent should be. But if you're familiar with farmland or you're not, the landowner and the farm operator, they have a window, until September 1st. So either party can send notice to the other party that, hey, I want to stop farming, or from a landowner standpoint, most of the time is I want a different farm operator. I'm going to sell the farm, or I want higher rent. So usually, and that's spelled up by Iowa code. So if either party wants to terminate the agreement or change the agreement, the window to do it is now until September 1st. So on this analysis, we've been pretty steady at 38,000 for the cash rent off the farmland. The operator does some other things in addition to this rent. They mow around the area and they spray for trees and stuff and weeds. So I've run the numbers. Agriculture, due to various things in the world, fertilizers up, fuels up, commodities are up and down. But overall, we're thinking that the farm community is probably steady for rents next year. We don't see any increase in rent. Some operators want to push rents lower. So what I usually do at this time of year, I visit with Mike. If he's pleased with what JCS Family Farm is doing, he gives me the green light. I visit with them, and then if we're okay with where the current terms are at, we just sign a new lease. If for some reason they want to do something different, we talk about it.
I think we've been fine with it. I don't see any problems, changes.
The only thing that, like the wildlife study, one thing Rob did point out with all the rain this year, the standing water over there has been a easy magnet. And they get out in the field, eat their crops a little bit, so.
Fly up in planes, have trouble with it. Their problems.
So yeah, how does that work? So I assume the land improvements are still on the landowner then, right? Like if there were any big problem with the
Drainage.
that would be us.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what a lot of landowners do, they use some of their rental income to offset. Some clients have sinking funds or whatever. They use that to offset any improvements that come along. Most of the airport here, like south side, is fairly sandy. I think the main drainage part is up there by Walmart. So, and that's all fixable. Yeah, drainage tiles does wonders. So,
I don't remember, Mike, do they keep up pretty well as far as like the fence lines, stuff like that, or what's kind of their responsibility area?
Generally the fence lines are ours. It just like mowing is mainly for them, kept to like spraying the trees and the bigger stuff so that we don't get into the tree growth and ditches kind of situation, but they have the same equipment that we do is in terms of mowing, like they're mowing with a tractor time, just like we are, so.
Sure.
I did know that, I've talked to Rod, there's a few trees here and there they need to hit,
Yeah.
so.
But yeah, generally it's the larger stuff that we can't handle or we just aren't able to, like.
Well, I know like we won't go on the fence line between the crop and the fence on the inside of the fence type of thing, which they won't do until fall anyway.
So you're doing the outside fence then?
For most of it, yeah.
You know?
There's a little bit that's kind of steep over here past the armor or past the guard.
And when Mershman was here, Mershman did a lot of the mowing because they wanted the area to look like pretty pristine for show. Now that we don't have,
Yeah, that's been quite a while.
it's been a while ago, yeah. Now that we don't have that aspect of it, it's just general fun ground. Standard, pretty standard maintenance.
So years ago, Merchant Seeds, West Point rented a lot of that and they had, test balls. It was pretty neat because they paid for that gate and entrance down there. So they would have an event at Riverside. They'd bus up in tour buses, the farmers, and they would just drive along the edge of the abandoned runway.
Yeah.
I did it once. It was pretty cool. I mean, farmers liked it. They did it, I don't know, 4 or 5 years and kind of ran the course of that. So now I think they sponsor Hawkeye stuff for the football team. Like it's on the radio. So
That sounds about
yeah.
right.
I guess, are there any problems with the mowing for on the house side, or are you just curious?
Also, I'm just curious.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been an odd year for stuff's growing really, really fast.
Yeah, it's a bit, yeah, it's wet, it's hard to get into stuff, so it's kind of a trade-off. You get in some areas and tear it all up and run it all up, then it's a bigger mess. So.
Okay.
All
Don't
right.
make any decision, just say it. We accept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for stopping
All
by.
right, no problem.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
buddy.
All right. Katie, right?
The last I heard on our reels, we are still on for the late August shipping. There had been some rumors they might have shipped early, but those don't come to fruition.
It's August 2027.
Well,
I didn't say that. Yeah.
So that's kind of, actually, that's what we're working on for both of these projects now, are new reels. Pavement maintenance is done. Had a contractor that was pretty motivated. They spent what?
There you go.
People are not in their usual spot. Like 10 days of work out of 21 days of the contract.
Yeah, so they got a big chunk of it done in the first 5 days.
Yeah.
They used 8 days total. So they had 5 days 1 week, then they came back the next week. Monday was a rain out, and then they were on site 7:45 on Tuesday, getting kind of touched up, cleaned up, and then 12:30 and getting that touched up, cleaned up on Wednesday, and then they were out of here. We'll need some more days for hopefully not full length closures, but there will be some closures on 725 with the reels and getting that construction done. But we don't expect that work to happen until probably mid to late September. So as we get closer to that, we'll really start honing in on a better schedule, work with OPL and Jet Air, and work on schedules and make sure that we've got something good figured out for that.
All right, DOT projects.
The good news, I was at the Transportation Commission meeting downtown on Tuesday. Got to present as part of the Iowa City delegation and talk about Hager projects and money for airports. But the Transportation Commission did approve the aviation program for the year. You're on the list for 2 grants for a total of $700,000 to build a hangar and some associated taxi lane.
That's fantastic.
Given that and our schedule and the fact that we can't spend state money until we have a fully executed grant, I am asking the commission to delegate to the chair to accept those grants when they come, essentially when they come in, but I think we have on advice of council.
Remind me with state how it works. We have the building inspect and like do the bid first. And
No, it's the same,
That's
it's the same process.
It's the same process. Okay, I thought so.
So we will have plans and specs, and we'll set a public hearing to review those.
Yep.
At the second meeting, we'll accept the plans and specs and authorize the bid. Third meeting is accept the bids and award contract.
Okay. What timeline are you thinking roughly for sure?
Adam had a pretty aggressive schedule. We talked this afternoon, and we're talking design this fall with bidding that process starting, I think, in January.
January, yeah, we wanted plans inspection in January, grant application submitted, so March meeting is when we'd approve the bid. And then, our plan right now is to likely move into construction probably within 45 days of, the bid being received. So,
Awesome.
we want to move into construction pretty quick with it, which will also help keep, bid prices down.
And all our FAA grant money is money that's already allocated either by the IGEF fund, formerly the bill, or it's our AIP dollars, which are allocated directly to the airport. So that money is there. It's not competitive grants. It's just a matter of getting things to the point where we can apply for them, and get those grants issued.
I make a motion
That's
for resolution authorizing chairperson to accept the Iowa DOT grants for the hangar building.
second.
All in favor? Aye.
Roll call.
That's a roll call.
Oh, okay. Right,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Chris, Warren,
Wildlife mitigation study, no updates there, just waiting for the report to come out. Expect that probably somewhere between next month and the end of the year. So yeah, we'll see what fun things that has in store for recommendations, and I'm sure Geese will be a part of it.
operations.
Airport budget, we'll start on some good notes just so we can get that out of the way and everybody feels pretty good. This sheet of paper. This sheet of paper is the screenshot of our city accounting system, but it's focused on the electricity utility. The big thing that I wanted to point out is now we have been through not only a year of having, it's almost 2 years of having the array turned on, but we've been through the year of Mid-Am's calendar of how their rebates work and that sort of stuff. So we have gone from an electrical utility of $20,000 a year to the fiscal year 26 ended last month, and we had $5,400 of expenses.
That is just, I love
So,
best thing we ever did.
when we did this plan, we were broadcasting 50% savings, which would have been 10,000. We're at 15. So, so I think that's, I wish we had more opportunities to do that, a couple more places, but you know.
Then Mike, how does it work again, this revenue from it too, from
Yeah.
like more electrical?
So you're paying $300 a month as a flat fee. The bill is about $150 a month. So you're paying.
So you get a little bit,
I mean, we're getting a little bit. You're still paying what your average was.
Yeah.
But half of that is now being.
now, yeah, I just didn't know if that's that part of that number or that's the addition.
No, this is purely the expenses.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, the income is actually up too.
So there's an income side on that isn't part of that number.
Mhm.
The next thing, hangar rates. The surveys
are bad news.
not well enough for us, so it'll be for people like Matt,
Oh, okay.
Ryan and Warren.
No.
Generally, everything around us stayed the same. Nobody's really changed rates. I didn't find anybody that changed rates on the folks that I typically survey. However, inflation is still 3%. We still do have kind of volatile insurance world. We have a volatile fuel market, which, we're not buying jet fuel and avgas, but we are buying fuel for our equipment. That usually runs $7,000 or $8,000 a year, depending on how busy things are. So I am recommending an inflationary 3% increase on our hangar rents.
Okay. Sounds good.
I do need consensus, a consensus or a motion, or if you guys want to do something different, Ryan, for the minutes, Ryan and Warren are recusing themselves
Okay.
as hangar tenants.
They can still talk as hangar tenants, right? They just can't vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would like to let Jennifer talk to that.
so,
Well, I think you can, you just have to be clear that you're not doing it as a commission member, so it is a little tricky to kind of thread
So
that.
voice of displeasure and put on your lanyard that says tenant. Member of the public.
so. It's, I find thing to say, so the resolution that we.
It's not a resolution, it's just a motion. Motion to-
That we increase the hangar rates to cover.
I'm actually not like totally sold on it. So. As a non-tenant. I hear you with like fuel prices and everything. I totally get it. But. Our tenants are also shouldering the burden of the increased costs and everything else that's going on. And so I worry that. We may be, it may have an outsized impact on our pilot specifically. When you account for the fact that our hangar rates are so much higher than everyone else's. And if no one else is raising them, then that disparity becomes bigger.
Nobody else is raising them?
Nobody else has changed the rates around us. That's why I wanted to make sure you guys understood
In
that.
that case, never mind. Then we should keep them the same if nobody else.
I mean,
Assuming everybody else was because of
yeah,
all of the costs of everything going.
given that,
Okay, then never mind.
given the market conditions right now and how volatile they are. I wonder if we keep it steady for the year, so there's some stability there for our tenants. We have, I'm not saying that we use that, but I'm saying that we have some cushion that it's not gonna kill us. See if we can get past the volatility next year and then we can reevaluate. Similar to how like we didn't raise them 10% when inflation was 10%, okay, whatever.
Okay, that makes sense.
That'd be my proposal, but mainly,
I am perfectly like,
how many thousands of dollars we're talking about?
the 3% would be about $6,000.
Oh,
I'm fine with that $600 for me, I think.
yeah, we've already saved it with the solar, so yeah.
And I am okay with that. The budget is okay with that. We are in a pretty good position for this fiscal year. And again, this is essentially would take effect next year, this fall, and really hit next year's budget more than that. Yeah. With now that we know we're doing a hangar, I'm also anticipating some of that revenue.
And we're gonna have a higher rate for those.
We're gonna have a higher rate for those. So I'd like to get into a position where in the next couple of years, we could keep things flat and let things settle again before we
Okay.
start.
That makes
Because we're
sense.
gonna have, I think we're gonna have a pretty good budget next year.
Okay. Don't blame.
All right,
Yeah.
if you're okay with keeping them flat, you're like, no,
Like,
it's like.
It's not
they're on
like,
fire.
it's not like we don't need them, like, there are definitely uses we can have.
Sure.
For that $6,000 will help. But we're not in such a dire strait where like we have to do this.
Yeah, if that's the case, given how things are going right now, why don't we? My proposal would be keep them the same.
Yep, okay, I
I can
agree.
see definitely, we get to, for when the time comes, they do increase stuff, whatever, to have a couple of bucket list items to say, hey, guys, we're increasing this, but we need to, we're redoing the gate codes, or we're redoing, something that's,
Specific.
that needs done. that they can see a benefit out of it.
Oh, like showing, like,
Yeah, here's what that's for. But
Okay. Sure. makes
so
sense.
that's PR.
whatever you guys, like I say, I'm relatively, Jet Air has a few hangers, but I'm really impartial as far as adjustments.
Yeah.
They come part of it, so
Yeah.
whatever you just need to do.
I'm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
I move that we keep hangar rates for 26, 27 consistent.
Second. You guys can't vote.
Well, he's still the chair.
Oh, okay,
He says all in favor.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Warren
All
Ryan
accused.
abstained.
Okay.
Rates will stay the same, don't.
Being a tenant doesn't mean you're suddenly not chair.
Try, but yeah.
Yeah, you were key. Okay, hangar construction standards.
This was the policy I handed out last month, had in the packet. Matt, did you ever get a chance to look through it?
No, that's okay. It's basically the change was that you want all steel buildings for the most
More
part.
or less.
And there's still a provision there that people can come with permission if they have an exception. I think that's fine.
All your stuff is steel construction. right?
All of ours has been, so that's why I wasn't really worried about it.
And that was solely in response to the hangar. That's what.
Yeah. That all makes sense.
Which turned out, I mean, you can't get a nicer building than that. I
No,
mean,
it's not. It looks nice.
It's not like it was skirted or anything,
Mhm.
but it'd be great to have something kind of standardized. But I could also see scenarios with which somebody would want to come to the commission and say, hey, the price of steel is insane, or whatever, and make a pitch to the commission at that time. Decide if they want to. Yeah.
And we have a few more lessons learned from that one than we did previously, so.
Yeah. All of those are accounted for in the document, I'm sure. Yeah. The new standard. I mean, I read over it at the time, I just don't remember. Okay. I move we consider a resolution adopting hangar design standard policy.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Ryan, Judy,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Warren, aye. All right.
Designating agenda location. So this one was part of my email. The state has updated open meetings rules and we are now supposed to designate a place that is accessible at all times, I think is the language. And the city is interpreting that to be 24/7, which our lobby doesn't work because we close it off at night. But City Hall lobby is open 24/7. Yeah, the front end, because the chief station is right there.
Yeah.
So there's a board up at City Hall that has all of the postings of agendas for all of the boards and commissions. They manage that. And it's my understanding, most of the outside, like us, library, I don't know if there's any other.
Just the two.
There's no other semi-autonomous,
Yeah.
but there's other boards of commissions like historic preservation. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess whether or not they don't meet at City Hall,
Yeah,
don't know the
I don't
answer
know
to
if there's
that.
any other ones that don't meet at City Hall.
Yeah, there might not be.
Maybe Parks and Rec, but
Yeah, Parks and Rec don't, I don't think Senior Center does. So there are a few, I think, that.
yeah, the recommendation is to make that lobby our designated spot.
But according to this, we'll still post them.
We can still it doesn't preclude us from posting downstairs in the case like we have been doing. It's just that one is the
I
official
think
one.
we should. But stuff.
Yeah.
I move we consider a resolution designating City Hall lobby as the official location of the agenda post. I'm sorry.
He was going to.
That's okay. I will second that. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. Brian, Judy,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Warren, aye.
Sorry. No more resolutions.
Just got a year.
I did get to call it a call, so
You did.
they feel a little better. Events.
Events calendar is what it is. We have moved up the Young Eagles event from the October date to towards the end of September. It's a away game weekend. Drive-in movies are supposed to be this weekend, pending weather. Um. Pancake breakfast is next weekend. Yeah, that's
FBO flight training reports.
So this last month we had the runway maintenance stuff. So that was a bit of a bummer, although they did a really good job. They're as quick as you can be, especially when at 100 whatever degree temperatures.
Yeah.
It's like the 1 week that it was really, really, really hot, no rain. But they did a really good job, got through that fast, we really appreciate it. That always puts we have a lot of fuel purchase signatures, stuff like that for those time periods, but because you always kind of move stuff in advance, and it takes time for stuff to get back. That's cool. October was just great. Flying in general has been all really busy. Fuel was all over the place. Like it said, you'll have down 20 cents and then the next week's up 40 cents. Like wild swings where usually it was like 5, 10, 15 cents here or there. So we just try to keep up with that stuff. Other than that, there's not much. I'm going to be out of town next week. But I've got Toby's our operations manager. He'll be over quite a bit because they got to get ready for the breakfast and have the breakfast on the 23rd. Yeah. I was pretty confident it was always the last Sunday for the last 30 years. And this time's not.
So I thought I had seen something like a month ago that said it was the 30th of August, and then all of a sudden the email or the stuff recently, I was like, dang it.
I think I had told people it was the 30th,
Okay.
again, like the last Sunday.
Yeah.
It's like my understanding of how it's been run. Now, granted, it's a different group running. But it had been the last Sunday of August, unless that Sunday was Labor Day weekend. The 30th is Labor Day weekend.
Sure.
It's before school starts.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still have Kirkwood's maintenance shadowing you?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be continuous.
Yep, that's gonna be continuous basically for the whole time. We have a few new hires that or people we're planning on hiring, I think, when they finish their session there too, but it's been a really cool program, the AMP program. So we're pretty optimistic. That'll be long-term good for the whole aviation community. So that's really great. Yeah, one of the guys that I just saw him out there mowing. So some of them will be working on other projects, line service, whatever, too, until they can get into the maintenance shop. So,
Good.
yeah, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mission members reports. Staff report.
I will be at the Kansas City Four States Conference next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I will be out of office. And then coming up in September, I'm gonna have a long weekend around September 11th. I'll be in Pomona for the weekend for a Comic-Con-ish type convention. I think that's all I know.
Okay, our next meeting will be September 10th. Everybody know that I'm gonna.
I'll be here.
Oh,
Either,
Is that the week of Labor Day or is that the week after?
The 10th.
It's the week of.
Is it?
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Because
Monday's Labor Day.
Monday,
It's like-
Fridays.
so I'll be gone because it's Chairman's Flags that week.
I should. Oh, like our report.
And Mike, you said you're gone the 11th though?
I'll be gone. I'll be-
Oh, yeah, you mean it Thursday.
There being no further business, we can welcome to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.